Hi everyone, I am Ms. Macedo. Welcome to our lesson. In today's lesson, we are going to learn about exposition, which is one of the elements of a plot. You will be able to understand plot, sequence of events, plot elements, and exposition. Are you ready? Let's get started. Plot. All stories have a plot. The plot is just a name for a sequence of events. Every plot should have an exposition, rising and falling action, climax, and resolution. What is plot? Plot is a sequence of events in a story in which the main character is put into a challenging situation that forces a character to make increasingly difficult choices, driving the story toward a climatic event and resolution. So, what is plot? The sequence of events that take place in a story. So, when you think about plots, I want you to think about the sequence of events that take place in a story. And now we are going to look at sequence of events. What is sequence of events? Is the time order of things that happened in the story. So in a story, things will follow a order. Let's look at these plot elements diagram. These are the elements of a plot: exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. These are the sequence that things will happen in the story. And it will start with the exposition. Now I am going to briefly explain each plot element. But in this lesson, we are going to focus on exposition. Let's get started. Introduction or exposition is information that the writer gives you at the start of the story. In rising action, events in the rising action that draws you in as a reader. The climax is the most exciting or suspenseful part of the story. Falling action, the continued action after the conflict has been resolved. And the resolution is the conclusion. How does this part of the story make you feel? So this is the plot elements diagram. As I said at the beginning, in this lesson, we are going to focus on exposition. As you can see in this image, exposition takes place at the beginning of the story. What is exposition? The exposition is also sometimes known as the hook. It is the very beginning part of the story. As you can see here, exposition is at the beginning. And the hook is something that grabs the reader's attention. In the exposition, the author will introduce the character and setting, provide necessary details about the character and setting, provide background knowledge relevant to the storyline, engage the readers with a storyline they want to keep reading. Questions to build understanding about the exposition. Who are the characters? What character traits, feelings, or actions has the author shared at the very beginning? What potential problems could the main character experience? Now, let's look at a few examples of exposition in a story. And we are going to start by looking at Harry Potter. So, an example of exposition in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, we are introduced to Harry and are told why he's forced to live with his aunt and uncle, who are very cruel to him. So, this is the beginning of the story, is the exposition of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, let's take a look at the exposition in the Hunger Games. So our example is the Hunger Games. The exposition of the book is when it is reaping time for the Hunger Games. Prim, Katniss' sister, gets chosen to go fight the Hunger Games, which is a battle to the death of 24 tributes. Katniss volunteers as a tribute to go into the Hunger Games and fight to the death. And I have here a quote from the Hunger Games. I volunteer, I gasp. I volunteer as tribute. This is the exposition of the Hunger Games. Now, we are going to look at our last example before you do your activity. So let's look at this example of exposition. In the exposition, we learn background about the story, like the setting and characters. Then there is an inciting incident that brings the main character out of balance. Let's look at this. Here I am in school. Everything's totally normal. Hey, where is my dad? So this is the exposition, right? They are in school, and all of a sudden, this person is worried about their dad. Now, it is your turn to show your understanding of exposition. You are going to write or draw an exposition for your story. Remember that in the exposition, you are going to write or draw about your characters and setting, because that's the information that you are going to give at the beginning of the story. So, characters are the people in the story, and setting is the place where the story takes place. So in this activity, you are going to either write a paragraph about the people and where the story takes place, or you are just going to draw this introduction for your story, which is going to be the exposition for your story. Okay, so today we learned about exposition. Thanks for watching the video.